Hey, this is Julian, and welcome back to another 2042 video. Today, I wanted to go over the different classes you can play as in Battlefield 2042's Portal. Now, remember, there are three different ways to play. All-Out Warfare is the standard DICE 2042 Specialists and the 2042 brand new maps and all that jazz. But Portal is basically a culmination of all of that. Plus, you got some remastered maps from three different eras in Battlefield. And in those three different eras are the different classes you can play. And you can pretty much recreate the classic classes that were available in Battlefield 3, Battlefield Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 1942. So let's kind of just go through what you guys may experience in Portal and what you can possibly do to make a server that could go up against these classes, the old class system. Because now in 2042, you have the specialist system, which kind of opens up the primary weapon slot, and each specialist has its own, primary gadget and trait. So let's focus on the old classes and let's see what would happen if you mix them together or put them against each other. A lot of people don't remember what these classes were because they were quite different in each of these eras. Okay, so let's just start off with, how do we know there are going to be new classes? Well, there you can see right under the 20 mark there, it says BC2 Assault. So this is taken from the EA Play Showcase, where I think Courage made his own little game mode where I think it was Bad Company 2 players versus Battlefield 3 players, I think it was. And so this is his player here where it's randomized loadouts. So this won't be a standard Bad Company 2 Assault player. This is a Bad Company 2 Assault player with a random loadout and with some other icons on there that I don't really fully understand what they are. And you can see there's no sidearm either. So it's all randomized loadouts for this specific game mode. Now, again, just focus on where it says BC2 Assault. So they're gonna bring back the classic class systems from each game. So it could say 1942 Assault, right? Or it can also say 1942 Scout. All these different classes had different abilities back in the day. And I think in Portal, they want you to recreate that. So let's go through some of the classes just in case you guys forgot. And I know a lot of people have not ever played the older games. So let's just go through some of them. So let's start off, focus on the bottom left of the screen. This is 1942. I don't have any text up or anything. You're just going to have to trust me. This is the Battlefield 1942 anti-tank class. Now, this has been changed over the time. But what's interesting about the anti-tank class is that it's the anti-tank class. All you got is a knife, a pistol, and an anti-tank launcher. That's the whole class. You also have a grenade there at the bottom as well. So that's what it was like. I don't know how that's going to work, but I don't know how that's going to be popular if chosen. But I think DICE is going to give you the tools to completely recreate 1942 remastered, basically. So just like in the first image, instead of Bad Company 2 Assault, you will have 1942 anti-tank. And all you will have is no primary. You just have your secondary and then a launcher of some sort. I'm sure you can pick the Panzerschreck or whatever. So there you go. That's that first class. And you'll notice on the bottom left, near the stack of red ammo bullets, it looks like, you'll see a rocket icon there. That signifies the anti-tank class for 1942. Here's the next one. This is the assault one. Again, focus bottom left. near the red stack and the player icon, you'll see what looks like a gun. Um, it more portrays a light machine gun, really. This is the 1942 assault class. So this has like the LMGs and whatnot. So you'll have one LMG, pistol sidearm, and a grenade. Let's move on. So that's the assault. This is the engineer, of course, with the wrench. And they have the classic engineer stuff. You can repair with your wrench. Classic. You got the landmines. You got the C4 in this specific class, which has changed over time. And you got your standard, either bolt action rifle or assault rifle or like an M1 Garand, probably something like that. I haven't played this in a long time, but that's what the kind of primaries you can choose. And this is the medic class. They had all the SMGs, so like a Thompson or anything that is, well, SMG related. And they also have a health pack, which you use to build up your health, which is on the bottom right of the screen. So kind of classic SMG kind of class for medics, all right? And then you got the scout class, not the recon class, the scout class for 1942. Again, bottom left, you can see the crosshair icon. That signifies what class you're playing as a scout. And you also notice the binoculars, which is on the far right. That is basically a call-in, a classic call-in. You just aim it, and you got an airstrikes that you can request, and that's what that's for. So that's its special ability. Of course, you got all the bolt-action rifles. Now, let's move on to Battlefield Bad Company 2. Now, this is your classic engineer, right? You got the repair tool on the bottom right. This is kind of signifies a little bit more of what that looks like and what you can hold. So here's your engineer for Bad Company 2. You got your standard SMGs. You can play around with a lot of guns that perhaps are like global, kind of like the M1 Garand, which came in later for the DLCs, I believe, that came out. I think the Vietnam one. So you can play with those global weapons in any of the classes, I believe. This is the assault variant, or the assault class for Bad Company 2. They had the standard, automatic assault rifles and the underbarrel gadgets. I think I have some other images here that can show what else you can unlock. This is just like standard right when you load up the game. This is, again, the assault class. And it also, remember, it has the ammo. It's not your classic assault that you're used to. It didn't have medic crate or anything like that. It had ammo, okay, back in the day. And here you go. So this is more of the unlocks you can have. You can see that they have the standard. You have a couple global rifles that you can use, a shotgun, for example. And the rest are all just assault weapons, you know. You got the F2000, the XM8, and the AUG, I think it was. I forget what that one in the middle is called. But yeah, you got a C4 gadget for your assault class. And all these are all the different traits you can have. Okay, so for Medic was kind of interesting back in Bad Company 2. That's when you were pretty much an LMG Rambo Medic, which was a popular class in Bad Company 2 and was very powerful, actually. They ended up changing that later in Battlefield 3, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute, about if you put a Bad Company 2 Medic versus a BF3 Medic. Boy, oh boy, what a change that was. So in 2042, on your Portal server, that might be something pretty popular, putting up Bad Company 2 classes versus Battlefield 3 classes. And maybe you guys, there could be a community around that whole thing to really, solve the mystery as to who's going to be the best, who's going to be up top. with these all balance changes and the movement changes, obviously. Okay, let's move on. So that's medic. And of course, they have the defibs and the medical crate or pouches, I think they were called. You got the recon class here for Bad Company 2. Again, you got the standard recon stuff, you know, the C4, you got even like the balls and stuff. And, you know, the what do you call it? Like the tracer dart, like there's a whole bunch of different gadgets. I think there's a picture of here on that. We'll get to. See, there's the UAV balls that you can throw. Then you got, of course, a standard bolt action that was tied to that class. Here we go. Yeah, so you got the you guys you have a targeting thing as well, and a whole bunch of perks. And then on the second row to the left, all the way at the bottom, is your tracer dart pistol, which you've seen in the Portal trailer. That's where that came from. Shoot it onto a tanker or vehicle, and then all the RPGs that were not lockable are now lockable because of the tracer dart, and it has other perks as well. But yeah, and oh yeah, I forgot about the mortar strike. God, I hope that. Well, there you go, kids. I mean, you know, that mortar icon might be from the Portal trailer there, one of the icons, but it looked so plain, so I couldn't really tell. So, hey, if they say that you can recreate, then maybe watch out for that mortar strike for Bad Company 2 Recon class, and also watching for that mortar strike or artillery strike from the 1942 scouts. So watch out for that. That could be a cool battle right there. Okay, let's move on to Battlefield 3. Again, this is the assault class, but now look out, they're medics now. Very powerful, probably one of the most popular classes in Battlefield 3. All the pros played with this particular setup. You got the medical kit and the defibrillators. There are also some other things you can choose as well, but this was like the standard. The engineer, of course, for the first time now they got instead of having the anti-tank class, you can now have the engineer and the anti-tank class together, which just seemed like a natural evolution of Battlefield classes. So there you got the repair tool again and some other perks, specialization perks, which seems to be a trend in a lot of the Battlefield games. Next, you got Recon in Battlefield 3. Again, you're tied to bolt actions and some other global weapons you can use on there, like the PP2000, I think. I think there's some global ones in Bad Company 2. But again, you got the tug system, the radio beacons, like spawn beacons. Those are really powerful. So we'll see how those go up against the Bad Company 2 ones or 1942 scouts. So we'll see how that works. I'm really eager to see how people make these servers in Portal and if they'll be popular or not. We'll have to see. And here's the support. Look at that. The support again. It's touching on the LMG class. All LMG weapons. You got the ammo box, C4 explosives. You got some other type of explosives as well. I think you can have the landmines as well if you wanted to. So on and so forth. Other gadgets and whatnot. So it's very similar to our specialist class coming up here in 2042, except you're not tied to the primary weapon types like the LMGs. So that's going to be the difference. Okay, and that's pretty much it for that. So I just wanted to bring those up with you guys and see what you thought of the different, kind of like a refresher of all the different classes from those three eras, 1942, Bad Company 2, and BF3. Those are going to be featured in Portal at launch, so maybe play around with those. I would like to see some Bad Company 2 medics versus the Battlefield 3 supports and see who's more OP. In practice, over time, people have theorized that clearly the Bad Company 2 medics, especially with the LMGs, can just do more damage because the LMGs, they behaved differently back then. They were not all over the place. They have insane recoil. You can aim down sights. No need a bipod or anything like that. And it just had a lot of, like, how do I say, muzzle flash back in the day. But we'll see what they do in the remasters of all of these different classes. So maybe take these in consideration. Maybe specialists might get boring for some people. So who knows? Try out the new classes. The class system is not dead in Portal. It is alive there, and they're going to give it to you so you can recreate all that nostalgia from the past Battlefield games. All right, guys, let me know what you think. You know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll be making a video every week and possibly even more once Battlefield 2042 comes out, especially during the beta, which should be out in about 11 days, people are theorizing, but sometime this month. So a lot more videos coming up, and the return of the Battlefield show will start after the beta is released, and I'll have a really cool guest. So make sure also follow me on Twitch. That's where we'll do the Battlefield show live. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.